Do you want to hear something interesting? Being able to last longer in fursuit fundamentally changes your relationship with fursuiting. Whoa, okay, I guess we're starting with a pretty big statement there, are we? Well, yeah, we are, because it's kind of true. I get questions about my fursuit and fursuiting all the time, but one of the most common questions I get about it is how I can stay in this fursuit for so long. It's a great question, and honestly, I take it as a compliment. It's not every day I get told I can last very long. But in this case, it is true. The longest I've stayed in this suit is about 7 hours, and even though that was an exception, I consistently suit for 5 to 6 hours at a time at conventions. And that's not just sitting around, that includes walking around outside, performing, dancing, talking, running around, chasing friends. It's 5 to 6 hours of active fursuiting. So seeing fursuiters like me and wondering what magical abilities many other fursuiters and I have to be able to stay in this hot, heavy, humid suit makes sense. This thinking makes sense for people who have fursuits already and want to get out and suit more, but it's also very common amongst people thinking about getting a fursuit themselves, since part of the whole point of getting one is to wear it and experience your fursona come to life. In reality, there are a lot more things that go on behind the scenes that you don't really see that keep fursuiters on their feet and performing for all of you guys. So in this video, we're going to go over 5 things that anyone who is fursuiting can do to last longer while they're out suiting, all of which should help any aspiring fursuiter perform as their fursona for that much longer. Let me explain. And we're going to jump straight into it and start with the first thing that pretty much every fursuiter that I know does before they go out in fursuit. I know we joke about this all the time, but in more ways than one, this really is a big, heavy, furry, wearable carpet. And that's especially true when it comes to how these things are on the inside. The material of the insides of the fur on these things isn't all that smooth, and depending on how many stitches or markings you have incorporated into the suit itself, things can get pretty uneven in there as well. If that was the only thing you felt, it's not really something you really want to wear for a long time. So in most cases, fursuiters don't just pop these things on top of their bare skin. Having a base layer to wear under a fursuit is imperative for a comfortable performance, but even then, what you wear as a base layer can make a difference as well. The gold standard for what that base layer should be is some kind of athletic compression clothing, the most popular being Under Armour heat gear. We've talked about these types of clothes on the channel before, but what they are designed to do is perfectly applicable for long fursuiting sessions. These things are made out of material that's designed to wick sweat while still being breathable, or in other words, when you sweat in here, which believe me, you will sweat while fursuiting, the moisture will be absorbed from your body into the compression clothing and get trapped in the fabric itself, instead of spreading into the rest of the material. This allows your sweat to actually do its job of keeping your body cool despite being trapped under the heavy material of a fursuit. And honestly, this alone can make or break a fursuiting session lasting longer than literally 5 minutes. And in my opinion, a set of these is table stakes for anyone wanting to fursuit themselves. And yeah, it's true, good ones aren't cheap, but neither was this fursuit, and I have no problem investing in my investment. But even that aside, compression clothing is quite literally the foundation of fursuiting comfortably, and is essential to keeping your body temperature as regulated as possible when performing. So that's one of the first things you should take care of when preparing to go out in fursuit for a long time. In fact, this idea of preparing for a long fursuiting session is very important. If you, and in particular your body, isn't properly prepared for the activity ahead, then the chances of something going wrong while you're doing that activity tends to increase. So with this idea of preparation in mind, the second way to make those fursuiting sessions last a lot longer is to eat a good meal before going out. It sounds simple, but you'd be surprised how much this makes a difference. I've said this multiple times before, but fursuiting is a physically intensive activity. It's a workout, and it requires physical labor to move the suit around. And like any workout or physical activity, that burns calories. And if you don't have enough calories ready to be burned, you're not going to be fursuiting for very long. And I can personally attest to this. Here's a fun fact about me, I guess. I hate eating breakfast. Consuming food in the morning is a chore for me, so a lot of the times I will just skip it and get something like coffee and a piece of fruit instead. But I remember at one of the first cons I went with this suit, I wanted to go suiting in the morning and the early afternoon, so I went out without eating breakfast, and about 30 minutes in, I could physically feel the lack of energy draining all of my excitement out of performing. In fact, the way I could tell is that when you're in suit, you really have to exaggerate all of your movements to give life to your character, and after a while, I just couldn't get myself to be as expressive, making it look like I was dead inside, which wasn't too far off from reality. But in all seriousness, fursuiting on an empty stomach sucks. So getting a good, healthy, balanced meal beforehand really helps keep your performance energy levels high, and do so for longer. So yeah, making sure you're properly prepared before going out and suiting can make all of the difference, especially to get your fursuiting session off on a good start. But when it comes to suiting for an entire day, I can tell you that if you think people are suiting for that long or in suit with their head on for the entire time, 6, 7, 8 hours straight, that typically isn't the case. Obviously, I'm sure there are some suitors that can do that, but we call those sickos and exceptions to the rule. Everyone else who has suited for a long time knows that the key to keeping a suiting session going is by taking breaks. Remember, fursuiting is in the same category as any other extended physical activity, and the key to success in anything physical like that is taking breaks so you don't physically burn out. This is why conventions have headless lounges. It gives space for fursuiters to take a break and cool off before getting back out there. And even when taking a break, there are ways to do that efficiently as well to maximize your recovery time. And of course, that all starts with drinking water. Not only is drinking water just good for you, it's also of particular importance when fursuiting. Like I said earlier, you're going to sweat when you fursuit. That's how your body regulates its temperature. So to keep that temperature regulation system working, you need to replenish what is used to keep you sweating, which is water. Being hydrated is essential for long fursuiting sessions, which is why some fursuiters wear a hydration pack with a bendy straw to stay hydrated on the go. I'll be honest, I don't use one of those anymore. Instead, what I've started doing is adding hydration multiplier powder into my water, which are little packets of powder that have things like electrolytes, vitamin C, sodium, and even a little bit of sugar to help your body feel the effects of being hydrated a little faster. Now, I can't guarantee that these will work with everyone. They're technically not medical supplements, and heck, it literally could all be a placebo. But stuff like that really helps me last that much longer while I'm out fursuiting. You can even have something like a small snack as well to replenish those calories that you burned from your prep meal, but the main goal of taking a break is to give your body rest so it can recover properly and get you back out there shortly after. I hope you're picking up on the theme here that temperature regulation is the name of the game when it comes to fursuiting for a super long time. And let's say that you know that you run hot or sweat a lot, and just the thought of putting on a furry carpet gives you pause. Well, there are some more active ways to help keep your body cool while performing in suit, ways that help a lot more than just wearing compression clothes. A very popular accessory that fursuiters always bring with them when they're out and about are active cooling systems, which is just a fancy way of describing something like a fan. Many suitors will wear neck fans, and when they need to cool off, they'll shove them into their muzzle and get a nice blow of air and have it circulate around them in their head. Though we're even starting to see this take a step further, where instead of those small neck fans, suitors are starting to use more powerful jet-powered fans to cool them off. I actually just found this one the other day. I was using it to clean my computer, and yeah, these things work super well. But sometimes even a powerful fan isn't enough, and fursuiters will take it another step forward to stay cool while in suit. Some suitors will wear a cooling vest, which is a vest with pockets for packs of a special liquid that is designed to stay at a consistent temperature no matter what the elements outside feel like. Fursuiters will wear these vests under their fursuit to keep their bodies as consistent of a temperature as possible, which again helps regulate their body temperature and suit for longer. These more active approaches to body temperature control can really make the difference for fursuiters who want to get out there for an extended period of time, and can really cut down on the feeling of heat building up in their suit, which can get overwhelming at times. Actually, in fact, that buildup of heat can get so bad no matter what you do that it becomes something that is just not worth dealing with for a lot of suitors. And in those cases, many fursuiters simply partial or poodle when they're out suiting. Just as a refresher, partialing is when a fursuiter only wears part of their full suit, like just the head, or just the head, paws, and tail. And poodling is when someone is partialing but also showing human skin that is not covered by clothes or a fursuit itself. Now, fursuiting in either of these ways has historically been a point of contention in this fandom, backed by the idea that when you are fursuiting, you are doing your best to replace your human self with a physical embodiment of your fursona, and doing things like showing human skin breaks the magic. Now, you can have whatever opinion you want on that, but as I see it, your health and safety comes first, and those who can't tolerate a lot of heat shouldn't be excluded from fursuiting. So if you don't want to deal with the heat or can't deal with it for a medical reason, partialing or poodling can be a quick and easy solution to that. And I'm not going to rant too much on this, but it's not like you're taking away anything from the fursuiting experience. In fact, I really like how furries have given their sona a sense of style with the clothes that they wear with their head and their paws. It's an entirely new way of expressing how they see their anthropomorphic animal sona. So yeah, in reality, all of those furries that seem to be in suit from sunrise to sunset don't have any secret abilities that make them last for that long. Well, again, maybe some do, but again, those are the sickos. When it comes to lasting long in fursuit, being properly prepared with the right compression clothing and getting a good meal beforehand, taking breaks consistently, actively cooling yourself, or just partialing or poodling, all help with making 6 hours of fursuiting feel like 60 minutes. And of course, you know your body the best, so you might have to scale up or scale down some of these factors depending on how hot you run. Anything you need to do to avoid heat exhaustion or even worse, heat stroke should be your #1 priority. But it's a worthy endeavor because being able to fursuit for a long time really changes how you view your suit. I mean, think about it. A fursuit is this magical piece of art. It's your fursona, your way of viewing yourself as an anthropomorphic animal physically materialized. And the more time you can spend time in it, the more you can act out that fantasy of being your fursona. And I'd hate to see someone so excited to finally see their sona come to life, but be hesitant on how long they can enjoy it because of the physical toll that it takes on our human bodies. So if anything, I hope that this list helps encourage you to perform as your sona in suit for longer and extend your time having fun living the furry fantasy. And for those who are already comfortable with their suit, maybe this can help you become one of those suitors that can last all day and all night. All right, that's it for this one. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, feel free to hit the like button down below. And while you're down there, subscribe if you haven't already to see my videos right as they come out. Thank you for doing all of that, and I'll catch you in the next one. But until then, stay wild out there. Peace.